You're listening to Swingology, a lifestyle podcast. Swingology is for adult entertainment only, and we're not licensed professionals. Our show features adult themes, language, and descriptions of sexual acts and desires. If you're under 18, this is not the show for you. The ideas and opinions expressed are those of the speaker only and not of any company or entity, and should not be considered professional advice. Now, let's stimulate your mind. Welcome back to another episode of Swingology, a lifestyle podcast. We are your host, Tori Kist.
And Steve Kist.
And today we're going to be talking about swinger shame. That's not kink shaming, because there is no kink shaming around here. Swinger shame is when you feel shame because of something regarding the lifestyle. So let's dive in about what we have felt, what we have seen, and how we have overcome swinger shame. I'll go first. When I first joined the lifestyle, approximately 5-ish years ago, I felt shameful being in it. I had to keep it a secret from my family. I was raised as a child very conservative, and as a young adult and middle-aged adult, I kept that conservative lifestyle. And then I met my sweet husband and entered the lifestyle, and everything was wild and exciting and exotic and fun and naughty, and I had to keep that part of me hidden from my family. And I felt as though I would be shunned if they found out of the sexual things I was doing on the weekend. Until one day, about 2 years in, I felt so confident about who I was in the lifestyle. I told them, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you something, and you guys probably won't like what I'm going to tell you, but I love you and I want you to know who I am. I'm a swinger, and that doesn't mean I have sex with everybody. That means I have freedom and have the ability to share my husband, and he shares me, and it's exciting. My family completely understood that I was coming from a confident place. They didn't like that I was a swinger.
I don't know about all that.
But they also said, thank you for telling me, and I hope that you stay safe. That's what my mother said. And that was amazing. I was kind of expecting her to shame me. I was expecting her to preach at me Bible verses or something, and that's not what I got from my mother. So that was my experience. Steve, what was your experience when you told your family you were a swinger?
Well, due to the unique way of my entrance into the lifestyle, they saw those tendencies in me in high school. So it was me entering adulthood was just a continuation of my experience in high school. And there was no I have entered the swinger world. It was just, I was already in it. I just didn't have a name for it at the time. And they just saw that behavior and then saw it continue in adulthood. And so there wasn't any shock to them.
Just Steve being Steve.
But didn't your family initially shun you, and then eventually they came around to talking to you? Wasn't there a small period of time where they didn't want to talk to you and they were like, you're not part of our family anymore?
That actually did not happen when I entered the lifestyle. What you're remembering is when I entered OnlyFans.
Oh.
So I was in the lifestyle for a few years, and I noticed that people like to just hang by my bed when I was having sex. So I thought, I have friends that are on OnlyFans. They're getting paid for this. So let me just put a camera on and see if I can make some money too, because people are watching me. That got out to my family prematurely. I was going to tell them, but somehow they found out early, and that's when they decided, well, my sister primarily, decided to shun me somewhat. She eventually got over it, and I eventually got over OnlyFans as well, because, spoiler alert, cancer of the lifestyle.
I guess we didn't try too hard, but we weren't, at the end of the day, we weren't too successful with it.
I freaking tried. I'm a full-time working mom, and I was doing that as well. Editing my own stuff, which I love doing. I certainly tried. It just wasn't for me, and I'm quite glad it wasn't for me, because you will understand at the end of this episode why I was glad it wasn't for me. But let me move on to my next subject of feeling shame. So yeah, there I was in the beginning of being in the lifestyle, trying to keep this fun, sexy, exotic life separate from my home life. But then when I would go to these lifestyle parties, these swinger parties, I'd wear this lingerie, or I'd be walking around half naked, and I felt embarrassed a little by my body. I'm pale. I've had 3 babies, so my skin wasn't tight. I mean, I did the best I absolutely could, but I'm not Barbie or Victoria's Secret by any means. And that's kind of the image that at least American women were pushed into, this ideal body image. In fact, that's literally a spa name. So I felt like I wasn't enough, or I wasn't good enough. And I had to get over that. And eventually I did get over that. But I'm sure men feel the same way. It's just maybe it's not pushed as heavily.
Every once in a while, now I can look in the mirror and see like, ooh, I should work on that. But also there's a part of me that's a little bit more forgiving to myself. Sometimes I might look at someone with a full head of hair and maybe like, wonder what a full head of hair would look like. And then sometimes I really don't care. So
I still suffer from body shame every now and then because I have a sedentary job, and so people who have sedentary lifestyles and jobs typically have more what is it called, the little dimplies on the butt and the thighs, cellulitis. That is not necessarily hereditary, but it's definitely from sedentary lifestyle. And so I'm sitting at a desk all the time and I know I have dimples, so sometimes I make fun of my dimples, and I have to do that. I have to be lighthearted about it, otherwise I feel like not enough again and can't go back to that dark little corner. That's not a place for me anymore. So Steve, what's an example of when you felt shame in the lifestyle?
One of the more recent ones that come to mind was, and I might have told the story before, is when we were in talks with a younger 20-something couple, and they were both, young and attractive and full of energy. And for whatever reason, I wasn't able to perform in that moment. And it was shocking because it was one of the first moments where I wasn't able to perform the way I wanted to. Nothing seemed to be working, and it made no sense. It was a complete embarrassment. That was definitely the first time that I experienced that shame of not being able to provide and give pleasure the way I typically had and typically always do. Another moment was way earlier in my lifestyle experience before I met you. I was going to a lifestyle event and I was trying to meet with couples and singles, and I felt that my experience was lacking. I didn't have enough of it. And when I say experience, of course, I've had dozens of threesomes at the time, and I had, several experiences with couples, but I didn't have the training, the etiquette. I barely even had some of like the language that typical lifestylers use to understand each other. So it was just like, how much experience have you had? Oh, I've had experience. How long have you been in the lifestyle? I guess I'm kind of new, but I hadn't been. But when someone asked me if I had been in the lifestyle, I would say I'm kind of new in it, only because I hadn't really realized at that point that I had already been a part of the lifestyle for a while, and I was just lacking like key terms and things of that nature. Like I understood some concepts of etiquette, but I think a large majority of etiquette that someone should know being in the lifestyle, I was definitely lacking.
Yeah.
So I had shame of admitting my inexperience to things that I should had experience on.
Right. It's like, how do I not know this? I can't admit to this.
Right. It's like, I don't know what I don't know, and I know I'm missing key concepts.
Yeah.
And I can't admit that right now because I'm in a room full of experienced
and you're a single guy
lifestylers.
And you want to impress people.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can only imagine the stress that you were faced. Okay, so another piece of shame that I have dealt with is something that I have actually been battling for the last, 2.5 years off and on. I know that the lifestyle is such a welcoming community, and that's one of the beautiful things is, wow, we're so not judgmental, right? So you would think that there wouldn't be much shame, but deep down inside, we are our own worst enemies.
Well, talking to some couples, they'll say, everyone says the lifestyle has the most welcoming people, but at the same time, when you meet a couple that isn't so welcoming, it hurts a little bit more, and they're jaded a little bit harder than they would be from someone else because they expect everyone to be so welcoming.
Yeah.
And so when they're not, they're like, the lifestyle is just full of the same kind of people. It doesn't matter who they are.
That's true. Yeah. So the latest shame that I've been dealing with is part of my sexuality. You know how there's the LGBTQI plus, all the letters of pride? Well, I'm the last letter. I'm the A. I'm the asexual. And there's different types of asexual. And I am a ace flux, which means I fluctuate all up and down that asexual spectrum. Sometimes I'm completely repulsed by sex, and think it's gross. And other times I am a cubiosexual, which means I just want to have sex and I don't feel sexual attraction towards anyone, and I don't. That's the common denominator. There is no sexual attraction. It's just sometimes I want to have fun and sometimes I don't want to have fun. And lately it's been I kind of don't want to do any of that stuff kind of vibes that I've been faced with, and I can't control it. It's not like, okay, well, just get up, dust yourself off and go do it. No, you can't. Like, if you have a fever, can you control your temperature? No, you can't control your temperature. That's kind of the same thing that I'm dealing with. So I feel shame when I'm at these lifestyle parties and people want to do things and I'm not at that level. My husband, for example, he wants to go to a full swap or wants to go to an orgy, and I can't get myself to go for whatever reason. That's what I feel shame for. And I need to find my people, to be honest, because there has to be other people that are asexual. They don't necessarily want the sexual energy, but they want to be in a lifestyle party. I would love to find my little circle, maybe platonic friends. Maybe sometimes we get naughty, but most of the time we're just platonic. I love that word right now. Platonic is totally my vibe. So that's what I'm dealing with. Steve, what are you dealing with these days?
I'm kind of dealing with over-sexuality. I like the 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. play sessions. I like the little breaks that go on in between and all the fun and the giggles and the laughing and just the nonstop sex, and I like that. But I don't like it every single day. I like to do it like every weekend. Like every weekend, a solid 8 to 5 would be amazing. And then have, regular sex sporadically spread throughout the week, Yeah, but like that kind of activity is not just inconvenient for you. It's almost a chore. And it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel terrible. And then when I approach other people in the lifestyle, like I'll meet a couple or a single female and we'll maybe initiate play, and then the moment they orgasm, they're kind of done. Boom. Maybe it's only been 15 minutes. And I'm like, wait, that was just, we haven't even stretched out yet. You're done? It's like, okay. Of course, I don't make them feel bad. It just makes me feel like, okay, I'm just too much. It makes me feel bad because I'm too much and I need to like calm or simmer down, You
and I are on this seesaw of I feel like I'm not enough and you feel like you're too much. And that is, it's hilarious looking from the outside in, but it hurts, being together, because I only want the best for you and I want to be there and I want to be enough. And the same thing for you. You only want the best for me and you kind of want to cool your jets, but you can't, because that's just who we are.
Yeah. So what we kind of look for, or have been looking for lately, is a lifestyle couple where maybe the wife is a little bit more over-sexual like me, and the other husband is more platonic and maybe casual chill like you. And that's kind of hard to find. Normally it's the other way around, where the wife is more chill and the husband is more like me. So I think we found one. I think so far it's been amazing.
We found one singular couple in this entire world of couples that fit the mold. No, honestly, there's going to be more.
There's got to be more. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, hope abounds. Don't give up looking for your people. Whatever it is that you're into or you feel like you have shame about, if you keep searching long and hard enough, you'll eventually find them. So don't ever give up hope looking for your people.
What about shame that we see other people experience?
Okay, so I have a couple examples on that, actually.
Okay.
Once we were at an LS event, we were at a club. We had kind of separated and we were intermingling with people. I had run into a female, started chatting up. We got along pretty great. She was like, okay, great. Let's see if we can get our partners together and make this a great four-way connection. She has to see a picture of you. The moment I showed her your picture, she seemed to deflate. She's like, she's not going to be into my husband. She thought you were too pretty and too gorgeous for her husband. So she felt shame that her husband wasn't attractive enough, which, of course, before seeing him, I tried to like make her feel better. Like, why would you? Because it was just curious why her initial reaction was that.
Right.
I was like, well, that's an interesting reaction. Like, I wanted it to be false, but she wasn't wrong. And I wish it had a better ending to that story. But
here's the thing. I don't really have a type. My type is a vibe. It's not a look. Literally. I have turned down guys that look like Ken.
Yeah, you
And I have played with other people that you were like, why are you talking to them? I don't have a type. I have a vibe. I don't remember that particular couple that you're referring to.
because she got so in her own head that it never got that far.
Oh, wow. I didn't even have the chance to vibe with them. I could have liked him.
Well, I mean, I think you did, but it was like just so short in passing that it amounted to nothing.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Another thing that we come across on a routine basis, there's a lot of bi women in the lifestyle. And there are sometimes women who are straight who feel like they need to be bi because there's so much pressure to be bi, but they're simply not.
Yes, that was me in the beginning.
That's not uncommon to run into, and we have found that the exact opposite happens, where guys are bi, but they can't say that they're bi because they'll get shame,
Right.
or maybe a straight couple won't talk to them like, I don't want no guy messing with me, but at the same time, like that same person who's completely adamant that they're straight and they're yelling it from the rooftops, the moment they get behind closed doors, like, don't tell anyone I'm about to do this, you're just like, what? So
Yeah, there's definitely a seesaw there too. So women feeling as though they have to be bi because most of the women are bi in the lifestyle, and then men feeling like they have to be straight and they can't be bi because the shame. Come on, guys, let's just be true to ourselves.
I mean, you're not going to just be able to like
It's rough.
tell people just to get over it
I
real
know
fast,
that,
right?
Obviously, I faced it too. We're all in this boat, but that's the thing. We're all in this boat together.
Well, I mean, some people are in different boats, you know? I mean, some people have kinks that they're into. For example, someone might say that they love golden showers. They might be talking to an attractive couple and then they feel a certain kind of way about it, and then all of a sudden they kind of ghost you or they walk off, and it's like, you know, I can be into something and it doesn't have to involve you, but we can still have fun and be friends. Why does me just admitting something that I like make you feel like you need to turn away?
One of my favorite things is to make people feel included and validated, because validation was missing in a lot of part of my life. So I like to give a lot of validation. And whenever someone tells me something that they're into, for example, the golden showers, what you just said, if I'm not into that, I'm not going to repel them. I'm going to say, wow, that's so interesting. Tell me about that. When did you fall in love with this kink? Tell me more about it. I need to know. That's literally how I fell into the lifestyle. I had to learn about it to find out if I liked it, and I loved it.
You loved golden showers?
No, the lifestyle.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Remember, you asked me on one of our first dates if I... Anyway, moving on. Are there any other shames that we can think of that people are faced with? Oh,
Yep.
I thought of one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I actually talked about this a couple episodes ago. We had a 4-way connection with a couple, and we were friends with them for probably 3 or 4 months, maybe going on 5 months or something. We played off and on, and it got to the point where I no longer felt the connection. Like, I liked them as people, and maybe that's when my sexuality started to make the switch over to the...
It really did. That's when it really...
Yeah, that's
that
probably
was
when it
the
happened.
straw, I think. If there was a straw, that was when it kicked in.
Oh my gosh, I think we're realizing something right now. But yeah, I stopped having a connection with the other dude. I felt ashamed by that. I felt like I don't want to be the person to break up our happy harmony, but I can't keep doing this because I kept forcing myself. You guys may remember a couple episodes ago, and I got to the point of like I was sick on the toilet. Like I couldn't keep doing this. So I think you're right. I think that's when my asexuality just took the flip over to the other side. What's another example that people might feel shame? Or do you want to talk about how we get over shame?
And how do we get over shame? I don't know. How do you get over shame?
When we were outlining, you had a great dialogue about this. That was your segue.
I had that?
Yes, you were.
I'm an amazing person in the past, apparently, but my current self is falling short.
So you said, when we were making the outline for this episode, that you're going to feel shame until you find your people and until you find the confidence.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean...
Well, tell the people that.
But I kind of just did, though. Like, when you find your people, you don't have to feel the shame because you're amongst people who understand you. But that's not really overcoming it as so much as just finding people that are into the same things that you are into. And if that's the only way you can overcome your shame, then that's all you've got to work with. But in terms of, like, you looking in upon yourself and looking at your family going, I'm going to tell my family regardless of how they feel about me, that's overcoming shame. Like, that's...
Well, I built confidence. That's what I did for that. I built my confidence of who my identity was.
Okay. So how do you do that?
I kept having fun in the lifestyle and learning who I was and establishing my identity and becoming proud of.
You got to the point where your pride about your identity overrode what you felt your family might think about you.
Yes.
Okay. And then you did something about it.
And the judgment of my family didn't have as much weight versus the pride that I felt as my new identity. Does that make sense?
Right. That's a really great way to overcome shame. That's a valid way to do that.
I guess I'm awesome too.
You are. So what can you do to alleviate other people from feeling their shame?
Ask questions about it and tell them that you have experienced it before, but you're curious to learn more. Obviously, give validation, like I said earlier. Mm-hmm. What are some other things that you can think of to alleviate other people from feeling shame in the moment?
Regardless of what they're into, like if someone approaches me and said, they like to come on feet or whatever, the worst thing you can do is scoff or make a disparaging remark or do the ghost and flip and run away. Those are all things that you're just going to discourage them from being themselves the next time they interact with someone. So instead of being that person, what you can do is express some interest, but then at some point, like I can ask questions about someone's interest or someone's kink. That doesn't mean that I'm going to participate in it. It just means that I hear them, I validate their interests, and what I might do instead, like, hey, you know what? I know someone, I have a friend that's totally into that. Let me connect you with them. Now you become a matchmaker and you've become friends to a group of friends. They all like you for it. And then now you've got like a circle of friends. You might not participate what they do on, their Sunday nights together, but now you're invited to full swap parties on Friday or what have you,
Yep.
You can become a matchmaker. Full swap maker? Is that a thing? Full swap? Hold on. There's a coin to term around here. Just give me a minute. The swap master.
The swap master. Sounds like a dungeon type of term.
No, I haven't landed on it yet. Give me some time.
You can land over here.
Oh, yeah? Actually, you're the one supposed to be landing over here. I'll just land on some cushiony bags over there.
Well, my love, did you want to give our listeners any homework? I like our homework idea because it encourages dialogue between couples, and we all need to have more open communication.
I'm kind of discouraged by the whole homework thing, to be honest with you.
Discouraged?
Yeah, a little bit. So we've done, I don't know, how many episodes? 17, 18 episodes?
A dozen, maybe more.
We've done, I don't know how many homework assignments. We've never had any feedback from homework assignments. We've never had anyone admit that they had done it or what they thought about it or anything. Whereas we've had some feedback about episodes and things that we've said, favorite episodes and that kind of stuff.
Questions to answer.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Never has anyone for a moment discussed homework.
No one. Okay. Our pupils, our students, are not turning in their homework. Everyone needs to get on TikTok and report their homework and tag us.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, we're not on TikTok. We're on Instagram.
Are we?
Yes.
I don't even know
and
where we're
Facebook. Facebook and Instagram. That's where you can find us. And, of course, YouTube.
Of course, YouTube.
Yeah, we don't make...
I have no idea what she's talking about.
It's just, YouTube, the music side of you can listen to the podcast over there. And if you want to watch the video, it's just our logo.
Anyway, due to the lack of interest in homework, I've been discouraged to come up with any more.
Okay, well, I'm going to override this discouragement and give some homework to these students. Lovelies, my students of Swingology, let's establish some homework now. I would like to receive in my inbox a 1-page essay.
What? What?
On the shame that you have overcome by being in the lifestyle.
Oh my God. They're just going to chat GPT it. It's not even going to be really them.
You know what? No, I'm playing. I'm probably going to cut that out.
No, you're not. Don't you dare.
All right. Well, guys, tune in next time to stimulate your mind.
No, wait. Stop.
What?
No. Okay. This has been your hosts from Swingology. We're going to sign out now. Be sure to tune in next time to Stimulate Your Mind.
Stimulate your mind.
Yes. See? It's better when you go second.
Thank you so much for listening to Swingology. I'm truly honored to have you as a listener. If you liked what you've heard, consider subscribing to our podcast or connecting with us on social media. The links can be found with the episode show notes. This is Tori Kist, reminding you to stimulate your mind.